Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Matt, and I'm back with Kerbal Space Program Hard Career Mode. Last episode we sent Valentina into polar orbit around Kerbin and did some interesting stuff at the pole with our plane. And I said last episode that I wanted to install a mod, Kerbal Alarm Clock, and as you can see, I did. Now, the thing I already set up an alarm as well in it, and that is when the maneuver for Sinatra with Janby around the moon is coming up. And as you can see from it being 3 minutes away, well actually the alarm is 3 minutes away, the maneuver is 5 more minutes away. I did spend some time off camera trying to get Valentina's capsule above the 2 zones for the crew report and the temperature measurement. Unfortunately, even after adjusting the orbit to a more elliptical one, I still kept missing those 2 markers. So and I kept missing them often enough that Janby is out no more than 7 minutes from her maneuver node by now. So what we're doing this episode is fly Janby's capsule, or actually as a whole rocket, and maybe talk about... where is it? There it is. Oh, that's not a lot. Maybe talk about Kerbal Alarm Clock a bit. So basically, as you can see, you can add quick add alarms, or actually add normal alarms. Give them names. I think you can set where the plane, which craft you want the alarm to go for, and you can also set what should happen when when that alarm arrives. In this case, or in most cases, I think I'm going to have the alarm kill our warp, the time warp, and display a message. So let's see how well that works. There we are. Quick edit maneuver alarm. Delete and close. Time warp halted. So as you can see, we only got 4 more minutes until we have to do our maneuver. So it's time to waste some more electric charge. Well, we're still okay. I think what I'm going to do is switch off the torque for now. So now that we got no more alarms on our list, we can actually turn it off. Now I just need to not miss the actual maneuver node. I could set another alarm for it, but yeah. With less than 1 minute or with only 1 minute to go, that's not that critical. Okay, that should do it. Okay. Did this already do it? Yep, it did it. Nice. And we're ending up at around 1700 meters per second. Okay, that's gonna take us 5 more hours to get... yeah, we're gonna arrive pretty much at our new apoapsis. So, having Kerbal Alarm Clock, we can just quick add a new alarm, SOI change alarm. Actually, no, that wasn't what I wanted. Yeah. And we just learned when you warp to, when you click this, it means you warp to it. And that wasn't what I wanted. I just wanted to set an alarm. Maybe, yeah, 5 minutes is actually enough. Close the alarm details. And it will go off in 4 hours in-game time. Sorry. I might have caught a bit of a cold. Okay. However, with 4 hours still to go, we're not getting Gen B back yet. Instead, we're gonna spend some time in the map view, which, if I can find the orbital genius. Now, what I want to do is get the Kerbal Space Center to the back into the daylight, which is going to be 3 hours, I think. No, maybe 2 hours in-game time. Yeah, I was a bit worried that with the accidental warping to the alarm, we might end up missing another marker, but we didn't. Hooray! But I think we're gonna miss it now anyways. Yep, we missed that one. Oh yeah, another thing I noticed off camera is that at some point I had accepted another contract for science data around, or from space around Kerbin. So the temperature reading here will actually come in handy for 2 contracts. Isn't that great? And the green markers are from a contract I haven't accepted yet. That's for, or that calls for more EVA reports and a couple crew reports in flight below a certain altitude, but it's right next to the space center, so I think I'm going to do that off camera at some point. Okay, how are we doing on that approach? Yeah, no, we're not gonna. We have to go to map view. See, when we are in map view, the green markers are gone. Yeah, the reason why I want the space center to be in the sunlight is because, as I said in the end of last episode, I want to test a lander design. See how well that one works. But there's another thing I missed. We're not hitting it. Or are we? No. Another thing I missed was that we are currently at 423,000 funds, and we need 450 for upgrading the VAB. So we aren't yeah, another thing. Yeah, so we aren't bound by the 30 parts limit anymore. That would also be a neat improvement. However, I actually want to wait until I've got about 500,000 funds, so we can not only upgrade the VAB, should be sunny enough, we can not only upgrade the VAB, but we also launch a rocket afterwards. We don't need that display, that's gonna take a while. So we got the sun up in the sky. Now it's time to build a little something. I'm wondering, no, I don't think those are gonna be long enough. We could of course add landing gear, but yeah, I don't think that one will turn out so well. Okay, we'll just put this one in for now. Structural, yes, stack decoupler. Okay. How did I want to do this? I wanted to take those girders in triple symmetry and put them in like this actually. What in the world? No, that's because that's wrong. Another stack decoupler, so that should do it. Okay, then another little fuel tank, and actually this one should be enough. Put in the swivel. Can already tell that this one's gonna be interesting. Anyway, I think I'm gonna pick Debbie as our pilot for this one. Okay, I can't move the rocket when I'm in piloting view, or in crew view. That's interesting. So I'm gonna add those two together, and that's pretty much our abort sequence. Doesn't work, we can just drop everything and come down with the parachute. Okay. And I realize now that I maybe should have put on wings. Come on, you weren't supposed to be here anymore. Okay. Yeah, that maybe I should have put on wings. Oh well, we're gonna survive. It's not that big a craft, I think. Okay. Well, we don't need full throttle. That thing is going to go up like, yeah, like a rocket. Okay. Well, maybe we do need a bit more throttle. Oops, that's not exactly what I want. Okay. Damn it. Crap. So we just lost Debbie. Crap. Did I say crap? Catastrophic failure. Yeah, you can say that again. Okay. Okay, yeah. What do we learn from this? That maybe do we have a we have a stay putnik. Should have done that before actually. Gonna what? There it is. Okay, we don't need the parachute anymore. Should have done that right away. That, however, means that we... okay, the thing is gonna look stupid, but whatever. Let's put a stay putnik right on top. Put a bunch of batteries on. 6 should do it. And of course it went to triple symmetry because I accidentally hit the girders. Okay. Let's see how well that works. And let's see, now we can do it without losing any Kerbals. So yeah, as you can see, or as you did see, I think I'm actually... oh come on! I actually do keep the failed attempts, or do roll with losing Kerbals if it's due to stupidity on my part rather than a bug, or what I think is a bug. So anyway, let's try this again, shall we? Okay, that should be far enough. Of course, the problem is that now we got... what am I... wait, what am I doing here? Okay, that one's going down. And they're gonna hit the ground hard again. Well, except for losing our engine, that didn't go too badly actually. Of course, with that whole engine losing thing, that would be very bad in an actual moon landing, unless, of course... now I'm starting to come up with the crazy ideas. Yeah, let's first recover this thing. Yeah, 1,000 funds. And see if there's more... no, actually it removed all the debris from near where we came down. Okay, that's odd. Don't know if we got refunded for it. Okay, there we go. I was just wondering because the funds showed 0. So it seems that we'll have to wait with the moon landing until we're actually at high enough funds so we can upgrade the... no, that wasn't it. Okay. Well, I'll be... yeah, so that we can actually put on a different kind of landing struts. But the funny part is, apparently I learned a new hotkey, which is X for increasing the symmetry, and C, another one, C for angle snap on and off. I'm just reducing symmetry is Shift and X. I was wondering, I was thinking that might be period and comma, but apparently it isn't. So live and learn. Unlike our brave Kerbal, whose name I already forgot. Damn it! I'm the worst Space Center manager ever, I think. Okay, let's try this one. This doesn't look very stable, but it should work. This thing doesn't have any SAS capabilities. Now I remember why I didn't create any rockets with the Stay Putnik so far, apart from this one. Because while this is workable in low atmospheric flights, it's a nightmare to get to orbit on something like this. Or to try and get to orbit on something like this. Oops. That was not very smart of me. Because I just ended up turning the... Ouch. I'm staging without... Okay. That works! Well, except for landing on a slope and falling over in Kerbal gravity, but that's alright, because moon gravity is only 1/6 of Kerbal gravity, and as long as we can avoid cratering on the moon, we can do it with this kind of landing leg. Well, there's the whole getting the ship to orbit and to the moon part, but to the moon isn't that much of a problem. Now I don't remember how much mass these things have. But yeah, science! Yeah, I don't remember how much mass the struts have. 0.125 girders. 125, that's 1868, that's 0.75 tons. So that's less than a ton for those legs. I can live with that. And with 1/6 of the gravity, what is this actually? We got a mass of 2.5 tons, and this thing has a thrust of 60 in vacuum, because we are working. Yeah, that's also a good thing to remember. Because the engine will actually be about 4 times as strong in a vacuum as it is in atmosphere. 60 thrust. Whoa. That's 2 point something. What's the thing? Thrust to weight ratio. That's whoa. That would be enough if the moon had an atmosphere, but since it doesn't, it's going to be more than enough. No, actually, no. If it would be enough if the moon had Kerbal gravity. So we got with this fuel tank and Stay Putnik. Yeah, that's alright, that will work. So, this is going to be the way we build our lunar lander. As in we put in a command pod. Don't worry, I'm not gonna kill any more Kerbals in this video. Put in, actually it's only gonna be one fuel tank. Put in a Terrier. And a bunch of girder segments. Ugh. Although I have to admit that since it's going to be the moon, I'm considering putting on a bunch of external fuel tanks actually. As in where are we? Aerodynamics, this one. As in those things are gonna get us down to the moon and soften our descent, and as soon as the time comes for taking off, we are dropping those and launching on the final stage. Actually, that might mean that this might be enough. Huh. Would it? Yeah. Well, of course, always presuming we... What are you doing? Of course, always presuming we get this block to the moon. Can't call it anything else. Of course, with the heat shield and structural decouplers, things look a bit differently. Although not differently enough that we can't put in science parts. But maybe... Now that I learned how to do this, could be done like this. And actually a bunch of utility batteries as well. 6, yeah, should do it. Don't you think? Oh, actually they're clipping. I hate part clipping. Have to no. I would have to put the landing gears a bit further down. I'm not yet sure. Yeah, actually we can put them up a bit further, like this. Oops. And you can go up a little bit higher again. And while I keep this one untitled for now, save and continue. While I'll leave that one untitled, we'll call that one our first lunar lander, the Debbie 1. Of course I need to write it correctly. Okay, time to save this thing. So yeah, I think this one doesn't look too bad. Actually, with the we might be putting on the usual stuff. Maybe an antenna? Do we need an antenna? Nah. But a thermometer would not go amiss, I think. We got the science bay, we got the mystery goo unit. We don't have ladders, but that's not a big problem on the moon because the gravity is low enough that Kerbals can jetpack up to anywhere. So there's that. Yeah, and it should be possible even to get the results from the materials bay. From the materials bay, actually, that one's gonna come back to Kerbal with us. So there's that. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with this one. The thermometer can do multiple readings. Do we have anything else we need? No, we don't. Of course, the whole lander would be costing us 11,000 funds already, which is pretty much the reason why I want to have 500,000 funds in the bank before I upgrade the VAB. Because with the lander already taking 11,000 funds and the rest of the rocket needing to get that lander, which weighs in at 13.5 tons and is already made up of 34 parts. Of course, that's due to the batteries, I think, mostly batteries and everything actually. We need a pretty good rocket to get this thing to Kerbal orbit and maybe even to the moon. I'd prefer if we could use the landing stage pretty much as an actual landing stage. That is to say that those fuel tanks don't get used before we actually get to the moon. So, but we'll see where this goes. I don't yet have any idea what I'm going to call the actual moon rocket, but the lander stays the Debbie 1. That's actually the moon and maybe even Minmus landers can become the Debbie series. So yeah. Actually, I have no idea if this lander will be able to hold. So we'll try this one on the launch pad. Okay. We don't try this one on the launch pad. We are at 34 parts. We need to lose how many parts? 4 parts. That means actually the batteries weigh almost nothing. They can be removed. I just want to see how well this thing holds up on the launch pad under pressure, pretty much. And it's not great, but it works. Of course, one of the girders goes through the grating on the launch pad, which is why we got a bit of a tilt in here. But that's alright. Girders aren't broken yet. So I think they should survive a landing on the moon with, let's say, 10 meters or at 10 meters per second. Worst thing that might happen is that we lose the lower girders and maybe the outer engines. I hope we can keep the inner one at least. That should be enough to get us off the ground. Can we? Oh yeah, and the reason why I put in those batteries before is on the other lander after I killed Debbie, is that the Stay-Putnik or any computer guidance system, unmanned control thingy, I forget what they're actually called, that they use up electric charge, and the Terrier engines don't generate any. Which means for landing or actually for anything around the moon, we're gonna have to rely on the batteries, which is also why I didn't put in an antenna. But yeah, that's pretty much the plan. They put not one. It doesn't say what it actually is. So yeah, I don't know how many funds are we gonna get from the contract. 35. Let's make that 36. 48. Whoa, 100 something. 110. And 172 plus 8. 16. Not 16. 14. 78. 188,000 funds. Plus I'm gonna do what off camera? Not this one, this one. I'm gonna do that one off camera. Yeah, flight below 19,400 and below 18,000. Plus 2 EVA reports, but I'm a bit worried about those two because I think they are in a pretty rocky area. So mountains and stuff. Liquid fuel engine on escape trajectory out of the moon. We have to orbit the moon and then activate. Yeah, no. Small landing gear. What? That's plain landing gear. That's yeah. Maybe we'll take one of those on our trip to the moon, or actually two for balance reasons. Ooh, we could also do this one. That would be fun. We could also rescue Moonbird, maybe. Kerman. But we'll see about that, Oh yeah, something I also did off camera last time already. I did what were they? The mystery goo report at the runway. Yeah, seems to behave very much the same as it always does around here. No, the thing that I found funny was the crew report on the runway. I did pretty much all the reports on the runway that I could. Yeah, reporting in at the runway. Good thing there's not a lot of air traffic, because I don't think we ever got a clearance from the tower to be here. I kind of found that funny, and yeah, that's the thing. You can go to the science center and check the science archives. I'm always getting a bit German in here. Check the science archives. What you have done so far, what you haven't done yet, You can put in filters and all that good stuff. Actually, I should probably do the temperature scan in high orbit as well. Heh, I didn't do that one yet. Well, I did it once, but I didn't keep it last episode, but that will still have to come. Kerbin around the moon. What did we do around the moon? In space high over the moon? Near the moon. EVA report above the moon's midlands, high over the moon. And a vessel from a flyby of the moon, so I think, yeah, next recovery is going to get us 0.2 science. That's for everything that you have done once already. You can see what kind of science it will give you and what kind of science you already got from it. Which is pretty nice. Pretty nice. So space high over the moon is 6 science, near the moon is 9. EVA report, reports are fun, so I think we might get 12 science or so from the moon's surface, if this progression keeps up. Everything Kerbin is... yeah, we did 52 science reports around Kerbin. Was it 5? Yeah, it's 5, okay. And yeah, you can filter by planets, filter by kind of experiment. Okay, I didn't keep a scan over Kerbin's water, but it's only at 0.42, so yeah. In space near Kerbin, okay, that's also only 0.6. Flying at Kerbin, space near Kerbin, I didn't even do the... I could have done, or could put a material spay into a plane and do the material study that way. That should also work, on the runway that is. Off camera, maybe. Maybe. Unless you, someone comments the next day or two that no, we want to see how it goes. Yes, I know you're not sounding like this, but this video has been going for 44 minutes, so I think I'm getting a bit of leeway in this silly department. Whoa! Did I just spend... no, that was fast forwarding. I'm kind of tempted to get the Sinatra at least into an orbit that has a periapsis of less than 40 kilometers. I think I'm going to do it. That means, however, we are going to do some time warping. Oops, that was a bit quick. Oh yeah, what I wanted to check was the location of those... yeah, they seem to be in the mountains right west of the Space Center. Yeah, I got a bit of a problem with the compass direction sometimes. When I think about which way something is, I always have to think north, south, east, west, which is which. So yeah, bit of a problem that. At least for me. You might find it funny. Oh, right. The dangers of doing this in the tracking station. Activate navigation. While you can time warp faster, okay, that one's passed. So yeah, Val is gonna spend a couple more days out in Kerbin orbit. It's weird, Val seems to get the short end of the stick when it comes to mission duration. I mean, she was the one who was on that 41 day mission around the moon, which was just supposed to be a little moon flyby. Actually it was supposed to be a moon orbit, but I messed up. But yeah, and now she's been on a mission for 3 days. That's actually been that was actually supposed to be not much of a problem either. I mean, how long can you take for a polar orbit mission? Apparently very long. Yeah. What? Time warp? Ooh, alarm! Close alarm. Deactivate navigation. Switch to the Sinatra. There we are. We are in orbit around the moon. We still got some electric charge left, which is nice. We are... what? Ah, we are almost at our munar escape. Switching our sphere of influence. I was just wondering because the Kerbal orbit trajectory was still yellow, but there is still a little bit of munar trajectory left, so that's why. We can... how did we close this? This way. 4 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay, what sorcery is this? It wasn't what was supposed to happen. Oh, come on. I mean, sure, it's... I think what happened is that I didn't burn enough, and we ended up not getting into a Kerbal orbit. Oh right, I turned off the torque because I wanted to... Okay, now we are in Kerbal orbit. Hooray! Which means I can... yeah, it's when you're approaching the a change in sphere of influence, your actual orbital calculations tend to get a little bit wonky. That's a bit of a problem, but not a very big one. Okay, that should do it. Let's see where we can go. 900, 800, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 70, 60, 50, 40... okay, 39 clicks. That should be close enough. At least I hope so. When are we going to... oh, we aren't... are we going to... I was just thinking, when are we going to hit that altitude, but I'm currently thinking that maybe we might end up hitting something else, and that is not Jambi's scrap, which is good. It's not Debbie's Hulk either, which is also good, but it's a pretty close call. I mean, it's merely 190 kilometers. And when you're coming in from 8 or 9 million kilometers, no wait, from 9,000 kilometers, that's spitting distance. But good news, we're not gonna hit anything. But I really should clean up the mess up in low Kerbal orbit at some point. Oh, are we going to hit Lecce's shipwreck? No, it's far out, which is good. Ooh, 2,000 kilometers separation, 1,500 in the worst case. Nice Trias capsule? No, we don't get that either. But this one was what I was looking for. Yeah, no, we don't have a chance of hitting that, which is good. Thing is, when we get to how do we do this? 5 hours 8 minutes. Let's say raw alarm? No, not. That should be Sumatra approaching Atmo. It's a retro burn, which is retrograde burn, to bring down our apoapsis, and making sure we don't... But no, that's not what I want, damn it. We don't actually burn up. Actually, delete that one. Add new alarm. Rod. Ah, right. There we are. 0 minutes, and we set 5 hours, give or take. Alarm. Sinatra approaching Atmo. Active vessel is the Sinatra. Okay. Time to add that one. Time to pay attention to Sinatra. Okay, yeah, that way. Retro burn, watch tumble, heat. Because, yeah, as I said, I don't want to burn up on re-entry, if I can avoid it. I think we're just gonna use up the rest of our fuel, it's not a lot, and hope it's enough to get our apoapsis down far enough. Then again, at 39 clicks, well, we might have a good chance to get back home. But as I said, 5 hours. I'm going to do that next episode, because right now we are already nearing the 1 hour mark for this video, and I've been talking a lot. I've been learning a lot as well. I have unfortunately killed one of our Kerbals, Debbie Kerman. Thing is, I rescued her from this. But I think that was off camera. Yeah, of course that was off camera. She was one of the last 2 Kerbals to be added to the Space Center. It was Debbie and Rhea Stratco. So yeah. Probably hasn't been nice for my reputation, but then again, I'm still at nearly 30%, which is, I think, the 300 reputation. So yeah, time to get back to the Space Center, and by now it's evening. Day 58. Oh yes, speaking of day 58. What? I don't know why this one pops up again. This is a bit too late for now. I thought that was deleted. No, it was minimized. That was why. What you can also add is an alarm for transfer windows, which means the best time when to go to a certain planet. Like, as an example, from Kerbin to Duna. Like the thing we got a contract for, Explore Duna. It gives you the best phase angle, 44.36 degrees, I think is this. And it tells you when that will happen, when that transfer window opens. And this is, yeah, in 166 days. Oh, actually not when the transfer window opens, it's actually the time when you can get to Duna with the lowest, I don't know, with the lowest transit time or the lowest use of fuel. Although it could be both, actually. It could be both. And you can also create alarms for all of them. For all the transfers. I'm not going to do that yet. I mean, we are currently thinking about landing on the moon. I'll go out on a limb here and say landing on Duna. Well, we might be lucky if we get that 166 days or 166 day window. Moho is even earlier, but it's closer to the sun, I think. And that's the current phase angle, and that's the one we need. I keep losing my train of thought. Yeah, Moho is closer to the sun and at a different orbit, but I think I've heard somewhere or read somewhere that actually getting to Moho is pretty easy. Getting an orbit around Moho, not so much. And the other thing is contract alarms. You can put reminder alarms when contracts expire, but we are currently at a point where they take 4 more years to expire, so that's alright. Or when they become unavailable for a while. This one will only be available for another day, for example. But when you take them, you get an expiry date. It's usually 5 years in the future. So yeah. So we learned a couple things about Kerbal Alarm Clock. We got a nice sunset with the moon high in the sky over the sun. Which means it's pretty close to a new moon, isn't it? Yeah, should be, I think. And on the other side of the sky, I just saw Minmus over there, where my mouse is pointing, or just above my mouse, the blue dot. Or it is no, it's a green dot, I think. I just see it as a light dot, so well, whatever. And I don't know if it gets lost in the video creation anyways, so yeah. As I said, off camera I will fly over to the mountains over here to do the contract. And on camera next time we are going to get Sinatra back. See if we can... I'll see off camera if I can get the two contracts, get Valentina to do the 2 contracts. Though I think with 4 hours or yeah 5 hours left, I don't think that's gonna happen. And then we are going to see about going to the moon. as in getting a craft up into orbit, up into Kerbal orbit, that's capable of landing. Now wouldn't that be a feat? So, until then, rest in peace, Debbie. Thank you everyone, and good night.